Hello and welcome to another episode of Social Media Listening. So, we will continue our discussion on Facebook. With me, as always, is my friend Ramesh, who
Right.
knows about social media a bit more than I think everyone else. He's a top advertising professional, needs not much introduction given his work. So, Ramesh, last time we discussed evolution of Facebook and how it has been a
Yeah.
dominant social media behemoth. So, how can we address this question of who to listen to on Facebook, given that there are, as we discussed last time, there are few people who are the biggest content generator, right? So, who to listen
Yes.
to, and then we'll get to what to listen to. So, who to listen to?
So, as we discussed in the earlier podcast, the people who are experts in a certain field, or at least claim to be, and therefore share a lot of content in that field, whether it is logistics, whether it's transport, aeroplanes, so that is one set of people you would listen to. Another very interesting set of people to listen to, and which interests commercial listeners a great deal, are what we known as super complainers. So for
Hmm.
a whole lot of people, Facebook is the medium to go and complain about anything and everything. Whether it
Hmm.
is shortages at your local Walmart, whether there are services that are deficient at places,
Hmm.
whether it is somebody who has ideological problems with gay marriage and will not,
Hmm.
so there are people who are always willing to pick up such issues and then share them widely. So these are people worth listening to, because then you know where there are shortcomings and where services need to be rushed, where it's not just commercial services, it's not just supplying goods and services, but there are also public goods, there are law enforcement issues, political problems that need to be solved, and so many others. Had, for example,
Hmm.
the government been very actively listening to social media complainers, the problems in Flint, Michigan may have been sorted much earlier. That, of course, blew up into a political crisis subsequently, but at the start, at least, it was an issue of municipal administration.
Absolutely. So, what surprises me is that um, there is not enough listening going on. So, in terms of listening to people who are very vocal, whether they're complainers or what, is absolutely very useful.
Yes,
But I think even understanding how they stand, not just politically, what is their position? Are they consistent? And on what issues? And not just clustering people. I mean, something other people have been doing. How their uh, posts on Facebook or on any other social media platform cluster, right? So, are they about this one particular issue, and how does it relate to other one? In fact, even looking at the order of that will be useful, rather than just counting. Looking at the patterns, right, within those can give us some really interesting insights.
quite a lot.
Coming now to uh, coming to the other issue of again, sort of who to listen to in the sense is some groups are going to be more informative, right, than others. So
Uh,
there
the,
are open groups, but
yeah, go on.
there are
Yeah.
open groups, they're public groups, but then there is a problem that they are private groups. So that information only Facebook can provide uh, governments and other agencies which are interested in evaluating patterns to build better supply chains and better local manufacturing, and even other things. I mean, dangers to the country. But coming from the perspective of uh, how to sort of have the most robust supply chain in USA and Canada, and how to bring back local manufacturing in every way possible. The issues that really come to mind are also that should we just be listening to people who are interested in posting about supply chain, or should we listen to about everything else? And should we listen to everyone? Because computationally that is challenging, but I must add it's less challenging than before. So what's your opinion on that, Ramesh?
True that. So I think focusing very narrowly on supply chain will yield only a certain kind of data, which might miss
Mhm,
because Facebook is a very noisy platform, right? A lot of what is there on Facebook is nothing but white noise. But
mhm,
nevertheless, there are many. So advertisers every year, for example, since one of the constant battles is that advertisers and listeners are always faced with Facebook trying to block you from listening to its data. It owns all that data. It is its best listener, and it's in Facebook's
mhm,
interests to make more and more data out of your access as an open source listener, so that it can
mhm,
sell you that self same data that you're seeking. That's how its revenue
mhm,
model works. But nevertheless, see, it pays to listen to a whole lot of other things beyond supply chain because of deep correlations, as advertisers have found out. For example, your political leaning will also have a large determinant on what your age might be, which is not something that you can directly take from Facebook because that's personal data and therefore out of reach to you. But you know that if somebody swings Democrat, that they're likely to be younger, likely to be more urban, more in the universities, more buying into certain cults like yoga and bullet coffee and all sorts of very interesting. They're also more likely to be on share a platform on Instagram. So there are beautiful correlations that we have built up over these many years. And if you also look at people who swing Republican, they tend to, be members of mega church groups. They tend to be older, live in rural areas,
mhm,
more pro-gun, and therefore more avid gun buyers. And there are things. So there are many purchasing decisions that they make according to their ideology and their demographic profile. And so therefore listening to
mhm.
these guys is also very interesting in terms of seeing where what can be manufactured, where what needs to be supplied, and so on and so forth.
Mhm. Yeah. So, great point. Now, coming to something that you already mentioned, I mean, coming back to it. So, at some level, Facebook has the best data, right? You can't
Yes.
beat the platform.
No.
Um, so, how do you beat it?
Well, listeners have tried, and there are many sophisticated listening tools now there. So, see, most people aren't just on Facebook. Today, for example, most of them will also have a Twitter account, may not necessarily be a very active Twitter account. Many of them will have an Instagram account. If you are really young, then you probably won't even have a Facebook account, but you may have a TikTok account and an Instagram account. Almost
Mhm,
everybody has a WhatsApp account for its sheer. WhatsApp is the Facebook of the current decade because if you are not on WhatsApp, you're almost invisible. Your work groups are on WhatsApp, your family groups, your friends group. Today, everybody is going there and it is spreading throughout the world. Then comes the communities that are there on Facebook. So those are also divided into public, closed, and secret. The secret ones are more of
mhm,
interest from a security perspective. So when we do a security podcast, we'll discuss those. The public ones are very interesting because many of these are also about local communities. So for example, Lexington in Missouri will have more than a couple of communities about itself where people will
mhm,
share information about traffic, about shortages, about something they have to sell, something they want to buy, and all of these things, which from a supply chain point of view are super interesting. But this is
mhm,
obviously micro fragmented because every single city in the US, that's thousands of those, and then each city may have more than one community. So, but listening into all of these is very useful. Cross media listening also helps you build profiles of, if you want to, for example, you can really listen into just one person and everything that that person has been doing online, the comments they leave on newspapers. uh, IP tracking is a very beautiful trick, and if you are not using proxy servers, as most people really don't, unless you're really paranoid about the internet, I can use IP tracking to find out what newspaper comments you're leaving, what you are doing on blogs, what you're doing on Twitter, what you're doing on Instagram, what you're doing on Facebook's openly accessible portions. And therefore, I can build a complete profile of you to market exactly this kind of goods I want to throw at you. And if I could link this data with, say, your Amazon data, then that's even more interesting because I also know your buying behavior. So, yeah.
So we listening to Facebook, analyzing data, and I think giving more information while having less data, I think is still possible, even though it's a very big mammoth task. But I think it's definitely possible. As you pointed out earlier, that government didn't pay attention to Flint, Michigan, right? So
Yes.
Facebook really has a problem of having more data than they can make sense of it. So
Yes.
if you're listening to Facebook, you don't have access to private groups, don't have access to private profiles. There are clear ethical boundaries. We have earlier discussed ethics evolve with time, ethics
Yes.
change with culture, but there are clear ethical boundaries, and more important than that, there are clear legal boundaries.
Correct.
As a private company, you are not supposed to ever cross a legal boundary. Even though ethics are subjective, laws are not really subjective in most countries, right? So you know what is the red line not to cross or even go near to that.
Yes.
So uh, while being on the perfectly safe legal side and on the ethical side, you can fundamentally still make more sense of data that is available on social media platforms. And this is not relevant just to Facebook, it's for anything, and still be more, give more insights than they are able to give. And I think
Totally.
that is what is necessary to build a better supply chain. And that's not to say that you can't buy data from Facebook. In addition to providing these insights, you can buy metadata from these social media platforms. And social media platforms make money through advertising, and they also make money by selling the data, selling the metadata, while ensuring people's privacy.
Yes.
So, okay, so this was a very interesting discussion and a long one. Let's sign off for now, and we'll meet again and discuss more about social media platforms in the next episode.
Absolutely. Let's catch up soon.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.